How often do we find ourselves engaged in conversations without truly considering the impact of our words? In the heat of the moment, it's easy to give in to the impulse to speak up without weighing the consequences. Who hasn't found themselves in a situation where they said something without thinking and then felt the weight of embarrassment? Or maybe you've shared something too personal and wondered what others think right now. These moments reveal the importance of an often overlooked skill: silence. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, not only invites us to control our words, but also to value the power of silence. Today, we're going to explore how silence can strengthen our daily interactions, protect our relationships, and cultivate our own inner peace. And if you're looking to strengthen your capacity for reflection, cultivate deeper relationships, and achieve lasting inner peace, this is the channel for you. Here, we explore the timeless teachings of Stoicism, guiding you towards a more mindful and balanced life. Sign up now and join our community of wisdom seekers. Let's get started. From the moment we are born, we are encouraged to express ourselves. A baby's first words are celebrated with joy by their parents or guardians. However, we are rarely taught throughout life about the potency of silence. Being quiet isn't just an absence of words, it's a space full of meaning and power. Silence can reveal a lot about us, our intentions and our essence. It is a sign of respect, both to others and to the environment around us. When we choose to listen instead of talking incessantly, we show a deep regard for the other, a practice that is far more impactful than trying to impose our opinions on those who are unwilling to listen. By talking too much, often without purpose or clarity, we sap our own strength, and contrary to what we might imagine, we end up making ourselves insignificant and sometimes debased in the eyes of others. Replacing the desire to speak with the desire to listen can be the key to our personal development. In social interactions, we can apply the Stoic virtues of prudence and wisdom to enhance and minimize many of our relationship problems. Consider the example of two salespeople, Brett and Marco, whose approaches are diametrically opposed. While Brett is long-winded, Marco knows the value of silence. When a customer walks into the store, Brett readily offers discounts that weren't asked for, which results in less commission for them and often the customer dropping off, who feels pressured. Marco, on the other hand, acts shrewdly. He listens first, asks intelligent questions, and finds out what the client really wants before he speaks. In this way, he not only sells more products but also gains the trust and loyalty of customers. The lesson here is that listening more than talking is a secret not only to success in sales, but to life as a whole. As an example, let's think about situations in our lives where talking too much has hurt us. Do a mental exercise now. Remind yourself of 3 times when you missed opportunities or caused problems because you couldn't shut up. This habit of compulsive speaking can be changed with practice and self-discipline, fundamental concepts in Stoicism. The philosopher Epictetus, for example, taught that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can hear twice as much as we speak. It reminds us of the importance of valuing active listening, which empowers us and makes us wiser. Fred could learn self-control, the ability to wait and listen before reacting impulsively. Resilience is like a remote control that allows us to moderate our reactions. It teaches us not to overdo it, not to talk too much, and not to act without thinking. Wisdom, on the other hand, is like a map that guides us in the right direction, indicating when it is the right time to speak or act. Marco has already learned how to navigate with this map, and this puts him in a position of advantage. In addition to being a practical tool, silence can be cultivated with grounding techniques, which strengthen mental connections between external stimuli and internal responses. Consider creating a mental anchor. It could be a physical object such as a bracelet or a phrase on your phone's screen, such as "talk less." Each time you see this reminder, you create a mental association with a state of tranquility and introspection. This repetitive practice helps train your brain to value silence and the wisdom it brings. When you feel like you're about to speak unnecessarily, remember your anchor. Pause, breathe, and choose the path of silence and listening. In this way, You will not only strengthen your relationships and improve your social interactions, but you will also cultivate a stoic spirit, ready to face life with more wisdom and serenity. Reflecting on the role of silence in our lives is key to a deeper understanding of ourselves and our interactions. Silence is not just the absence of words, but a form of communication that can reveal a lot about our intentions and character. It allows us to listen, to really listen, and not just to listen passively. By practicing silence, we realize that our words, when used sparingly, take on greater weight and significance. As Seneca stated in his letters, it is quality and not quantity that matters. When we choose our words carefully, each of them resonates with more strength and purpose. Not sharing all our plans and thoughts is a lesson in self-control and wisdom. Often, when talking about our intentions, we seek approval or encouragement, but we run the risk of weakening our resolve. Psychological science supports this view. By verbalizing our goals, we experience a premature sense of accomplishment that can demotivate us. Keeping our plans private gives us an advantage, allowing us to work on them with focus and determination. As Epictetus teaches us, first learn the meaning of what you say and then speak. Keeping our plans to ourselves is not hiding, but rather protecting what is still in the growth phase. Emperor Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminds us of the danger of blindly trusting everyone around us. It's not just the possibility of conscious sabotage, but also the subtle influence of criticism and negativity that can lead us astray. When we keep silent, we preserve our power and shield ourselves from outside influences that can harm us. Marcus Aurelius warns us, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Therefore, by carefully selecting those with whom we share our dreams, we protect the purity and integrity of our aspirations. Seneca, in his reflections on friendship, stresses the importance of choosing with discernment those in whom we trust. True friendship is rare and precious, a safe ground where we can share our dreams without fear. However, prudence is necessary, as not everyone around us genuinely desires our success. Sharing our triumphs and aspirations only with those who sincerely support us strengthens and motivates us. Aristotle also emphasizes that the friend is a second self, indicating the depth and importance of authentic and trusting bonds. Stoicism invites us to look beyond appearances and focus on what really matters, our moral and spiritual development. The practice of silence allows us to avoid the dictatorship of reaction, a concept that Epictetus addresses when talking about the importance of not getting carried away by other people's opinions or external events. Instead, we should focus on our inner growth. Each time we avoid forming an opinion or expressing a judgment about others, we gain more time and energy to invest in ourselves and our personal development. This practice frees us from constant worrying about what others think and helps us maintain inner peace. Taking a more reserved approach also improves our relationships. By avoiding snap judgments and unnecessary opinions about others' choices, we cultivate an environment of mutual support and respect. Focusing on our own lives and using our time to support rather than criticize creates stronger, healthier bonds. This teaches us to value the actions and efforts of others, fostering an environment of growth and encouragement. Training yourself to control thoughts and words is a powerful skill that Stoicism teaches us. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminds us that we have the power to be unaffected by external events. You have power over your mind, not over external events. Realize this and you will find strength. This wisdom encourages us to adopt a more reflective and less reactive stance, allowing us to remain calm and clear in any situation. The practice of silence and introspection offers us a deeper insight into ourselves and the world around us, guiding us into a state of serenity and lasting purpose. The power of silence is not just a communication technique, but a philosophy of life that allows us to navigate the complexities of existence with wisdom and grace. By adopting silence as our first language, we find the inner strength to pursue our dreams and goals with determination and focus. And in doing so, we create a life of greater meaning and depth, aligned with the Stoic principles of virtue, wisdom, and self-mastery. In the vast field of human relationships, we find an incontrovertible truth: the need to set clear boundaries to protect our space and our inner peace. We often come across people who, driven by curiosity or the desire to give an opinion, go beyond these limits. They express their thoughts unfiltered, claiming honesty, but they forget that respect and consideration are essential pillars of any healthy interaction. Setting boundaries in our relationships is an act of self-worth. Those who speak thoughtlessly often slip up, expose themselves unduly, and sometimes cause irreparable harm. Epictetus, one of the luminaries of Stoicism, offers us a valuable perspective. Everything has two handles, one you can control and one you can't. We don't have control over the actions of others, but we can choose how to respond to them. When someone crosses our boundaries, our response is what determines the impact of that transgression. Approaching the person clearly and firmly, expressing our feelings without aggressiveness, is a way to protect our space and educate others on the proper way to treat us. Setting boundaries is above all an act of self-care, acknowledging what is acceptable in our interactions and communicating it in a respectful way strengthens our relationships and protects us from negative influences. Epictetus illustrates this idea with a simple but powerful analogy. Does anyone smoke at home? If he smokes moderately, he stays. If it's too much, I'll leave. It reminds us that we need to be stewards of our own well-being, making decisions that protect our emotional and mental health. The practice of silence is a valuable tool in the art of setting boundaries. Often, we feel the need to explain ourselves, seeking approval or understanding. However, silence can be a more powerful response. Not only does it preserve our energy, but it also prevents unnecessary misunderstandings and conflicts. Stoicism teaches us the importance of keeping certain information to ourselves. Epictetus advises us, if you drink water, don't count everything you drink. This means living simply and reservedly, without the need to share every detail of our life. By adopting this stance, we strengthen our character and preserve our energy for what really matters. The balance between speaking and silence is crucial. Saying too little can alienate us from others, but talking too much can expose us and create problematic situations. Plato offers us a valuable lesson in emotional control. When confronted with a situation that made him angry, he realized that he was not in a position to handle it fairly and asked a servant to solve the problem. This shows that even the greatest sages recognize the importance of controlling emotions before acting or speaking. If we don't control our silence, we become slaves to our words. By speaking impulsively, especially when we are emotional, we run the risk of revealing plans and thoughts that should remain private until they are fully formed. Learning the art of silence and setting boundaries is essential for a balanced and serene life. As Epictetus teaches us, we must always remember that we have the power to choose our reactions and preserve our inner peace. Silence is not just the absence of words, but a deep and powerful form of communication that connects us with our essence and allows us to interact with the world in a more conscious and respectful way. Cultivating this practice helps us build healthier relationships and live with more wisdom and balance. But in some cases, many of us, in moments of anger or impulsiveness, throw out words that hurt deeply, leaving scars that cannot be erased. As Marcus Aurelius rightly said, never say that something is impossible, because limits are learned from your explanations. These words reflect the essence of Stoicism, which teaches the importance of controlling our words and actions, especially in moments of intense emotion. By retreating into silence, we gain the opportunity to reflect and organize our thoughts before acting, allowing us to respond wisely rather than react impulsively. Silence is not just the absence of words, but a deliberate practice that allows us to absorb information with clarity and insight. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, teaches us that when you have the habit of making me stronger, you sometimes believe people in order to learn from you. But how can I learn to be silent? It seems like a silly question, but many people struggle or even struggle with those who claim to know. They fall into life's traps and end up exposing themselves. On the path to self-improvement, An essential practice is to learn to master silence. It's not just about not talking, it's about cultivating a deep skill of self-mastery and self-knowledge. To begin with, training for silence begins with constant self-observation. It is essential to be aware of our emotional impulses and the tendency to react immediately in challenging situations. Imagine yourself in a heated discussion. Instead of responding in the heat of the moment, we can learn to pause, take a deep breath, and allow our thoughts to organize themselves before formulating a response. Not only does this avoid unnecessary conflict, but it also promotes clearer and more respectful communication. Another valuable technique is the practice of active listening. Often, while others are talking, we are already planning what to answer. However, by practicing genuine listening, we can better understand the other's point of view and respond more effectively and empathetically. This strengthens relationships and improves the quality of both personal and professional interactions. In addition, taking moments for mindful silence can be transformative. This can be done through daily meditation or by simply taking a few minutes out of the day to be in a state of mental stillness without outside distractions. These moments of silence allow us to calm the mind, gain clarity of thought, and strengthen our capacity for introspection. The benefits of mastering silence are vast and impact many areas of our lives. First of all, it helps to preserve relationships, as we avoid unnecessary conflicts and promote more harmonious and effective communication. In the professional environment, for example, knowing how to listen more than speaking can result in more thoughtful and collaborative decisions, contributing to a more productive and harmonious work environment. On a personal level, silence promotes greater self-awareness and emotional self-control. By learning not to react impulsively to negative emotions, such as anger or frustration, we develop greater emotional resilience and an ability to deal with adversity in a constructive way. This strengthens our inner peace and improves our quality of life. Silence is also a powerful tool for spiritual and intellectual growth. Through quiet reflection, we can explore deep ideas, question our assumptions, and develop a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. This allows us to grow not only as individuals, but also as conscious members of the global community. That is, practicing silence is not just a matter of not talking, but rather of cultivating an attitude of active listening, self-control, and introspection. By incorporating these practices into our daily lives, we not only improve our relationships and decisions, but we also enrich our journey of self-discovery and personal growth. Today we explore together the powerful influence of silence in our lives and how it can shape our interactions and our personal growth. Now, I want to hear from you. How has silence helped you in challenging moments? Are you willing to practice the reflections we've shared here? Leave your comment below and share your experiences and thoughts. Always remember, true wisdom begins with the ability to listen, reflect, and act with serenity. Keep seeking the path of inner peace and balance. I'll be waiting for you in the next video.